Hey guys, Thornton here, back with another video, and today we're going to be taking a look at another keyboard from Tecware. Today we're taking a look at the Phantom, but the TKL version. We recently did take a look at the full-size one, so this takes a lot of characteristics of that, of course, just in a smaller form factor. Features some awesome things like a Hotswap functionality, as well as a really solid build quality, and all of those things built into a pretty budget-friendly price, so let's hop into it. In the box, this is getting your keyboard itself, which does already have the cable attached to it. You're also going to get an included dust cover, and then a few extra switches depending on which switch you chose to get with the board, and then also a switch puller. One thing I would love to see Tecware include in the future, since this board is hot swappable, is just to throw in a little sample pack of their other Altimu switches as well, so you can pop them on the board and just test them out in case down the road you want to actually buy some of those to pop in here. I did really enjoy my time testing out the other Phantom from Tecware. The main gripe, or it wasn't even really a gripe, just the thing I didn't enjoy about it, was the fact that it was in that 100% or the full-size keyboard layout. I just prefer a smaller form factor, so having the TKL option of that is really nice. But for those of you who like the looks of this or the functionality of it, they do have a full-size keyboard if that's just your jam and you want to have the number pad slapped on the side as well. You can definitely have the option still available to you. As far as design though and looks, basically exactly the same. You're gonna get that floating key design, aluminum top plate, really nice robust bottom plastic shell as well. The thing is just a really solid build overall. I mean, like putting pressure on it, there's absolutely no flex in it. I have no worries about this thing breaking down over time, which is really nice to be able to say about a keyboard that's on that more budget-friendly price point. It does have a floating key design as well, kind of just hovering over that top metal plate. But one of their new products they just released actually is going to be able to take this from that floating key design to having it more flushed up, and I'll be showing some B-roll of that. But I will have a video coming soon going over their new keycaps, going over those new shroud covers, and you can really customize these keyboards again, all at that more budget-friendly price to just how you'd like it. So some super cool stuff coming from Tecware, so keep your eyes out for that video. They are using a nylon braided cable, which is sadly fixed into the back, or I guess I should say like the bottom towards the back of the keyboard, and they do give you those routing options, so you can take it off to the left or right or out the back center, depending on maybe where your PC's at, which is kind of a cool inclusion to see on here. Also on the bottom, you're gonna find 4 rubber feet, which so far have kept it really nicely in place on my desk, and then also 2 flip out legs for a different incline adjustment if that's something you like to do. They are using the same double shot ABS keycaps that we've seen on their other keyboards, and like I've said with the other ones, definitely some of the best double shot ABS I've used. A lot of times I associate ABS with like super oily looking, smooth feeling keycaps, but all the keycaps on their boards I've tested really enjoy them, and now that they're actually pushing out some of their own keycaps, I'm really happy to see that, because I think they'll do really well, and I'm excited to test them out and also get that video out for you guys. But they don't pick up oil as bad, and they also kind of have more of the PBT sort of feel, I guess you could say, just having more of a gritty texture on top, and like I mentioned, they're going to hold up over time because they are double shot. Those legends aren't going to be shining out or fading anytime soon. Below those keycaps though, you're going to find your Altimu switch of choice, which they have 3 options there. They have their red linear, those brown tactiles, or the blue ones, which are going to have that tactile bump and the clicky sound to them as well, which personally for me, definitely not a fan of blue clicky switches. It's just what they sent out for me, which I do really appreciate it. Just not a fan of the blue switches myself, so definitely not my favorite typing experience. But obviously, again, Hotswap functionality is included on this, so depending on what you pick up, or if you want to have the option of going between those different switch options, that's going to be available to you. I will mention though, the Hotswap sockets they're using on these are super stinking tight. Like, I've broken switches trying to pull them out of here, so it's definitely, if you had to go through and pull all these switches out, you might have a little issue, but just pulling one out and putting another one in if one of your switches went bad is not going to be that big of a deal. Just nice to have the functionality included on the board in the first place. As far as the stabilizers go on the Phantom, they also feel really solid. It is a little bit harder for me to tell though. I feel like when you have a linear switch versus like a blue clicky tactile switch, I feel like you can isolate the sound of the stabilizer more. So like when I'm hitting on this, I just hear a lot of that clicking of the switch, so it kind of minimizes if there is any rattle or instability in the stabilizer. But so far they feel really solid as far as that goes, and again, you don't have to have blue clicker switches on this. You could have something else. So I'll go ahead and throw you guys into the sound test now though, so you can hear it for yourselves. Wrapping up the video here and pretty much coming to the same conclusion I feel like I have with every keyboard I've tested out from Tecware. It's just a really solid offering. You can pick this thing up for $45, so definitely putting it on the more budget-friendly side of gaming keyboards because we know how expensive they can get. For that price point though, what are you getting? You're just getting a really solid build. I think it looks sleek and nice and clean on your desk. It's definitely not like a super flashy or not getting like, you know, the most top tier components, but I think it delivers really well for what it is. There is a couple things I'd like to see changed on it. I would like to get, you know, a detachable cable versus having something fixed into the back like we saw on the Phantom L where it had a detachable USB-C cable, and then also maybe just including a switch sample pack so people can test out the other options that are available. So down the road, if they want to actually take advantage of the Hotswap functionality, they know what they're getting into before they actually purchase some of those other Altimo switches. But besides that though, really solid offering again from Tecware, and then again, and just some here in the near future, some of those new products they brought out, absolutely love them. The shroud cover allows you to change up the look of the keys themselves, and then also a lot of different keycap options, so make sure you guys hit the subscribe button to stay tuned for that one. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you did find it helpful or informative, please hit that like button for me, and do consider subscribing for more tech content just like this coming up in the very near future, but I'll see you guys in the next one.